maybe for you guys. This is a weird video for me to make because this has been in the making for a long time now. I've gotten requests since I started making stuff on YouTube, on Twitch, if I'd ever do ASMR content, and in general, I held off because I don't know, I've listened to ASMR content on YouTube for many years now, until back since 2018, 2017, somewhere around there. But the idea of doing it myself always felt a little bit weird because I was living with my family and I don't know, just the idea of like someone coming in and just seeing me whispering into my microphone is a little bit weird, admittedly. But I finally got worn down, and I was talking to a friend yesterday about little things that we're gonna start up doing to like get some money going. I'm due to be graduating from university in the coming year, finally. So I thought I might as well open my avenues as wide as I can, and that is not a euphemism. And, at least give this a go, see what happens. And I figured something that might be worth doing, because I don't often give you guys much of a look into my taste personally, would be start off by going through my Steam library, because you guys who are on my Discord server, which I will have linked in the description, only really see the things that I have listed in the polls that I put out for drinking stream games, or for my single player series, which I've done a few of now, for Portal 2, for Arkham City here, for Red Dead Redemption 2 I've just started as well, and I'm due to start Dead Space 2 as well, which I will come on to later. But I figured, you see the games that I decide to put out on the server, and it might be a good idea to show you my whole library, just in case something gets your attention, and you can point it out to me in the comments or on my Discord, and tell me that you want to see some stuff on that, and I could potentially do that for some upcoming streams, or even potentially some gameplay videos on this channel, ASMR stuff. Now I'm yet to decide, there's a little bit of admin before we get into it, I'm yet to decide whether this will go out on a new second channel, which I might dedicate to ASMR, or on my current channel, my main channel. I'm not sure yet. I might ask around, see what people think. But regardless, let's get into it. So I decided to sort by alphabetical because I don't want anyone judging me for the amount of time I have on any of these games. And I'll give little bits of feedback, well, not feedback, but backstory, I suppose, for certain games that people might not have heard of, or ones I think people should particularly focus on playing. So I'm just gonna go through everything. I don't think I have any hidden. I might be wrong, and if I do, and I come across any notable omissions, I will point them out. Don't worry about that. We've got 60 seconds first. One little game that was pretty big on YouTube in, I want to say, 2018, 2019 kind of time, maybe a bit before that. It would have been before that, I think. Running around collecting apocalyptic supplies from your house and trying to spend as long as you can down in your fallout bunker and hope that someone comes to rescue you. It's frustrating at times, but it's good, very good psychological assessment of yourself, what you think is the right and wrong thing to do in certain situations, and I think it's really interesting. Aim Labs, I don't even think could really count as a game at this point. I mean, it's basically just training stuff for when you go into other games, when you go into FPS games. Anyone who's played Valorant or Counter-Strike or whatever will be more than familiar. Alien Isolation, at current time of recording, probably my favorite horror game ever made. And I haven't played... no, that's true. Not true, rather. We'll get on to my favorite in a bit. That one's a bit complicated. This is probably my favorite pure horror game ever made. Something that truly encaptures what makes at least the original 2 Aliens films so good. Those are my favorite horror films, Alien 1 and Aliens, the second one. And this game is everything that I think they should be in a horror game. I go back to play it probably once a year-ish. It's a very regular fixture on my Twitch stream. Amnesia Rebirth. I honestly can't remember when I got this. I think I was gifted it by a friend. And I've meant to play it ever since. I mean, it's another horror game, a legendary one at that. But I never got around to it, admittedly. Might do that on stream. Among Us. I just realized now, I said I'm not gonna focus on Time Blade, but, you know, we're in it now, so why not? Yeah, I've played this game a lot. It was where I started my YouTube channel from, was Creations and Among Us. And it was how I met my group of friends that I play with on Discord. Was through Among Us. It was what gave me the sort of confidence needed to start putting my voice out there. Apex Legends, another game that everyone will have heard of at this point. The amount of time is slightly misleading, very misleading. I used to play it a lot on Origin, back when it was at its peak. I've only played 12 hours of it on Steam. It would be probably a couple hundred on Origin. I used to be very big in it, and I sort of dropped out after fairly early on in the game. Like, there's a load of stuff that I've never experienced with Apex. But I think as far as that Battle Royale craze between like 2017 and 2019, I think Apex is probably the one that actually holds up best. Because, I mean, PUBG is non-existent. Like, no one... This will probably cause some controversy, but I don't think anyone really plays Warzone anymore, right? Fortnite sort of ebbs and flows. It comes back and then it does something to annoy the fan base, and, you know, it can never seem to keep itself straight for a long period of time, whereas Apex has just sort of been consistently trucking along, and it's been, you know, pretty well received throughout its entire existence for the most part. Bargy Card, a good friend of mine, Ava, she invited me one time to stream some kind of low quality, kind of jokey games on stream. This was one of them. One that I was weirdly very good at immediately from picking it up. I don't know, it's free if you want to check it out. It's funny, it's fine. Not much else to say about it. Bastion from Supergiant. the same company that made Hades. I haven't put nearly as much time into this as I have with Hades, which is a massive shame, and I'm probably going to pick it up again, maybe for stream at some point. Or it might even make for a good ASMR gameplay. Do that, because the soundtrack is beautiful. It's not too loud, if I remember correctly, and the narrator has a really cool voice that I think would suit it, though I really don't want him outshining me on my own channel. His cool Western American cowboy accent, which would undoubtedly bring some ears away from me. Batman Arkham Asylum, ignore the voice crack, please. I haven't drank a whole lot today, and it's also very early in the day that I only woke up about an hour ago. So I have, as you can see, you know what, I might as well include them all together. All three of the main Arkham games. There's obviously Arkham Origins as well, which I don't have. I got all these three together, I think all at the same time, although I might be wrong. They were all on sale. This would have been in, I was going to say summer, but no, I think I got Arkham Asylum in the winter sale from last year. Well, technically, 2 years ago now. Happy New Year. And I think I got City and Night in the summer sale of 2023. So yeah, there's that. I haven't played through Night yet, as you can see, but I played through Asylum on stream, and I've started a drinking playthrough of it, which has been a lot of fun. I drank a lot on stream. That was one of my heaviest ones, but I adore that game. And I've played through City, the main story of it, once on stream as well. I just finished that off just last week, I think, or the week before, rather. I think I slightly prefer Asylum. I like the darker, sort of, I was going to say rougher feel, but like City has that in spades as well. But I like, it feels much more horror. This Asylum, it feels very cramped, and it being more linear, I don't know how much impact that makes on my enjoyment of it. Because I like the Catwoman stuff in City. I like the open world. I think it's an amazing open world. I don't know. It's like a ever so slight favoritism thing here. But I mean, it's hard to pinpoint why. But you know, they're basically on the same level for me. I love them both, and I can't wait to go on to Night, even though I've been told it's not as good. So I'm not going to spend any time on Battlefield 2042. I played it once in the beta, as you can see, and no, I'm just not going to talk about it. Bendy and the Ink Machine. I have never played through the whole game, as you can kind of see, which is an oversight, because every time I've seen it, I thought, this is horror at its absolute peak. And for some reason, I just never got around to playing it. That'll be another stream game, I imagine. Yeah, I should get around to Bioshock. This is what I was talking about before with Alien. My favorite horror game ever, but it's not like a pure horror game. It's dystopian FPS, kind of stealth at times, a little bit RPG, very RPG actually. It's everything. It's my second favorite game ever. I mean, I know it says 0 minutes because I've been playing this one, which is weird. I don't know why I got given both of them. I'm fairly certain I have played a little bit of this one, but the updated graphics, you know, so it's important. It's my second favorite game ever, but I say to everyone who I recommend it to, this is the best game I've ever played. It does everything right. It has my favorite story in games, as in like nothing is given to you too heavily. You sort of piece it together yourself. It's very cleverly done like that. Despite it just being a shooter game at its core, the combat's actually really satisfying in its own way. The way you're made to use the plasmids, the power, the supernatural powers, it's really cool. It's a legend in PC gaming at this point, even though it's not PC exclusive. And I think it released. I think the rights of it were bought out by Microsoft at some point. So, if anything, it's probably less likely to stay on PC. So pick it up while you can. And I mean to get around to playing Infinite as well. But I mean, I was less sort of hurry to get to it. I was less in a hurry to get to it because, you know, you see the previews and it's so bright, and I mean, it's not about Rapture anymore, aside from like the DLC, the one that has Atlas in it. And like Rapture's what's interesting to me. I don't really care about being up on the surface, but you know, I have to get around to it at some point as such a fan of the original. Black Wake, a game that I believe another game that I got gifted by a friend at some point that I haven't played. It's becoming a little bit of a theme, and I'm a bit embarrassed. But kind of like I think either that or it was a free game. I don't remember. One that I just sort of picked up and just didn't play. Okay, it's basically just a free version of Sea of Thieves. But at that point, you might as well just play Sea of Thieves because, you know, that's the one that people actually play. Gotta love a little mobile game coming onto PC. Bloons Tower Defense 6, massive Bloons fan. I'm a huge Bloons fan. 5, I mean, this one was free. I think Bloons Tower Defense 5 isn't on Steam. I might be wrong. I don't think it was. I prefer 5 to this one. I think the hero system is a bit weird. And they've also made it ridiculously hard. But, you know, it's a Bloons game at the end of the day. They're all solid. They had the concept down from day one. And, you know, they haven't really made a bad one. It's how can you make a bad Bloons game? Underground is another one like Bargy Kart from before. Another one of the games from that stream I did. I don't think it'll still be up on my Twitch. I think it was too long ago for that. But yeah, no, this was one that we played, and we were kind of like, "Oh, because this one actually feels like a proper game. Like it's sort of well made. It's not my thing, but you know, I won't discourage people from playing it if you're interested." Borderlands 2 has become my third favorite game of all time. I got it around this time, today being the 2nd of January 2024. I got it around this time last year, recommended by my friend Ava, and I've played through it. Well, I actually figured this out. I got the DLC with the Necromancer and Psycho class. I am a Psycho player. So there are 6 classes in Borderlands 2. I played through all 6 of them once for the base game. I think I played through... can't remember if I played through any of them on True Vault Hunter, aside from the Psycho, who I'm just coming up to the end game of Ultimate Vault Hunter difficulty with the Psycho. And so I've played through it. Once that's done, presumably about 6 times the story. It's endlessly replayable. It's so much fun. You can pour hours and hours and hours into it. I mean to get someone else, like some friends of mine, to jump onto this game so I can sort of be their tour guide. I really want to do that. And there's also some DLC I haven't played yet, so I need to do that as well. Just not enough words in the dictionary to describe how much I love this game. Brawlhalla, I was introduced to by a friend, and admittedly only played once. I didn't really enjoy it because, I'm very good at Smash. I'm good at Smash Bros. And this obviously takes very heavily from it. It's another sort of screen knockout style platform fighter. But this one has a much more sort of dedicated, smaller fan base at this point. And the person I was playing with knew what they were doing, so I just couldn't beat them for the life of me. The people that we played against in online lobbies knew what they were doing, so I just couldn't do anything to them. And yeah, no, I was just getting my ass beat. My ego is too big for that, so I haven't got back to it since. Might have to at some point, but I'm not in a rush to. Clustertruck, a game that every commentary YouTuber had on in the background with their videos in like 2017. Fun for a first playthrough, and then you never really go back to it. So I can't remember how much it costs. That would dictate whether I'd recommend it or not. It's fun, as I say, for the first playthrough. After that, you're not really missing anything. Unless, as I said, trying to make commentary videos. But it's a pretty saturated market at this point, so I actually wouldn't recommend it. He says, as he's making an ASMR video. Counter-Strike. Again, slightly misleading time, because obviously this was the update of CSGO, which I spent the majority of those hours on, the vast majority of those hours on, like 450 of them probably. CS2 is good, it's fine. I preferred the gameplay of Global Offensive, but that might just be personal bias, I don't know. It's no secret that it's past its prime, I think it's safe to say. There's none of the greats from yesteryear. Like Simple doesn't play professionally anymore, to my knowledge. It's like, yeah, that's kind of telling. But it's still, probably the best tactical FPS game ever made. That's not even bias. I think it's sort of just an objective fact at this point. The Counter-Strike series is the best crafted shooter series, like multiplayer shooter series ever made. I think that's a fair assessment. Crap game, hilarious game from obviously the Squid Game popularity of whatever year it was, 2021. Must have been 2021, I think. Made by the same developer of as Muck, that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Really good fun. Actually still has a fairly big player base, which I was surprised about when I logged on a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine. Still a lot of fun. Just a lot of stupid fun, and if you can get people together for it, it's a very good time. And it's free, so that's always nice. Don't know if my mic picked it up, I just kind of punched my desk a little bit and my hands in pain. Right, so I just got a drink. And realised just how difficult it actually is to keep up a voice like this for a long period of time. I've been a big fan of Ephemeral Rift. It was the first ASMR channel that I got into for a long time. And he'd always say how much he prefers doing whispering over soft spoken because this is way more difficult to maintain. However, Cuphead, I have a video that I want to make that I might do as a follow-up to this. I put into a grid based on a Jacksepticeye video from not long ago. I can't remember how long. My 16 favorite / most important games of my life. And I believe I put this on there just for its quality alone. It's I mean, it could be even in my top 5 sort of best games I've ever played. It's definitely my top 10 favorite. Like, even if it doesn't look like I have a huge amount of time on it, that's just because playthroughs don't take long. Like, one singular playthrough for me would probably take about 3-4 hours, maybe. So that should, well, with the DLC, probably more like 6-7. Like 6. I think 6 to say. So that should really put it into perspective just how much I've actually played this game. It's, again, really easily replayable. It's, you know, I do like 2-3 streams on it, have a good time, usually drink some alcohol, because this is kind of my most successful drinking game so far, I believe. And because it's, I mean, it was the first one that I was asked to do 2 parts of, as voted for on my Discord, as I've already advertised. But yeah, I can't recommend this game enough. It's it'll be on sale for another couple days, presumably, for actually fairly cheap, so I would recommend it. Dark Souls, the original, but the remastered version. Yeah, every bit as difficult as people claim it to be. And I mean, I barely even got past like the starter area. So I mean, Lord help me. I haven't gone back to it for a long time, aside from those 20 minutes from 2 weeks ago, which I didn't know was that recent. But I mean, I'll have to give it another go, because it's fun to see people rage out at a game. I died in the stupidest way when I got really far as well. Not really far, but the furthest I had gone. It really doesn't cut you any slack at all, which is to be commended. Dead by Daylight. I used to be an avid Dead by Daylight player. Trying to think what was the time that I kind of fell off. Most of my hours would have been played before the release of the Legion, I think. It's kind of the point I started tuning out. Came back in again briefly around the time that The Artist was released, the woman with the crows. And I have done a 5-part narration series on my main channel. I don't know if I'll be making a second channel for this. Maybe, I'm not sure. Of narrating the killer's backstories, which ended with The Artist. There have been a bunch more since, so I should make that a part 6. Could even be a project part 7, depending on how long they are. I don't know. But I got a bit jaded with this game. Every update, they seem to try to do something to make survivors' lives harder and killers' lives easier. The game started to feel more and more unbalanced in favor of the killer. It's still good. I don't think it's nearly as good as it was kind of at its peak in like 2016, 2017 kind of time. But I mean, it's done an amazing job keeping itself as relevant as it has. With all the licensed stuff, which they're still doing. They recently just got their second license to Stranger Things, which was interesting, because they dropped that and then picked it up again. so I'll be interested to see where that goes. Dead Space 2, the next game that I'm going to start up on my Twitch channel. I played it very briefly, as you can see, and enjoyed it. But I just never really went back to it, because I feel as though I might have broken the game a bit, because there was like a store bit at the start that, for which I had the ability to just buy anything I wanted for free. And it was like, this doesn't feel right. So I just sort of stopped there. So I was like, I don't think that was meant to happen. But I'm going to be starting that up on stream. What is meant to be tonight, I believe. Unless I decide to do Red Dead instead, we'll see. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Deceit is a very good free, again, survivor versus killer kind of game in the vein of Dead by Daylight. They brought a new spin on things, and with a bit of social deduction into it as well, with one person being like a disguised monster, which is really cool. I didn't get people to play it for very long. I keep asking people every now and then if they want to jump back on. Every now and then, I haven't had any takers, which is annoying, but it's worth your time. It's great. Deltarune, we will talk about its predecessor Undertale later. That 2 minutes thing is complete bullshit. Because I have played through chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Deltarune multiple times, so that's probably more in the range of like 10 hours, maybe a little bit more. I adore Undertale more than I could possibly put into words. And I mean, from a gameplay standpoint, Deltarune, I think in general, is better. I think it's funnier than Undertale as well. I think that in general, a lot of the characters at least have the potential to be better. I think Deltarune is a great expansion on everything that Undertale was. And there are meant to be 5 more chapters of it. I have no idea when they're meant to come out. I think we're due for chapter 3 this year. Because Undertale came out in 2015, Deltarune chapter 1 came out in 2018, chapter 2 was 2021, I think. So I think this year is going to be chapter 3. I really hope he doesn't keep releasing them in 3-year intervals, because that's going to be really frustrating. I don't want to wait fucking 12 years, for the rest of the game to be released, because it's due to be 7 chapters. Like, that's unfathomable to me. Demonologist, a game that, to my knowledge, came out last year. Just a better version on everything that Phasmophobia is, if I'm being honest. I adore Phasmophobia. I have a lot of great memories with that game. But I was introduced to Demonologist last year, and it's scarier, so much scarier. It's more in depth. You're forced to actively confront the ghost when one-on-one. Like, it forces you into more uncomfortable positions. It's just a way, it has a story, kinda. It does. I mean, it's a small one, but it has a story. I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. I love that game to death. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, one of the legendary video game franchises, Deus Ex. Had a friend in college or high school, if for any Americans watching, or anyone else who that may affect, who wouldn't stop talking about Deus Ex. I think Human Revolution was his favorite game ever, and I played through the first 2 levels, I believe, of Mankind Divided. Had a lot of fun, but I dropped it in favor of something else. I can't remember what. I mean, it's on my polls each time for single player series. It hasn't been voted in yet, but I intend on doing it again at some point. Dirty Bomb a game that no one plays anymore, which is unfortunate because it had a lot of potential. It was kind of the predecessor to Rainbow Six Siege. I think it came out beforehand at least. And I thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, it fell off really quickly, which is sad. Dishonored, I'm gonna try not to talk about it too much. Anyone who knows me knows just how much I love this game. It's my favorite game of all time. It's a profile picture on everything, on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all of it. It's my favorite game. Dishonored. Corvo is one of my favorite protagonists. He's the coolest looking, in my opinion, gaming character maybe ever. Certainly gaming protagonist. I love stealth games. I'm in love with the art style of this game. I've heard rumors of a Dishonored 3 at some point, which I cannot, like, if that's true, I just can't wait. I go back and play this game multiple times a year, and it was the best addition to my Steam library, aside from, honestly, Among Us, because that was what brought me to where I am. Probably the best addition to my Steam library ever. Dishonored 2 is not as good as the original. It doesn't matter what people say. The gameplay is nearly as good. I think they kind of fuck with it a bit too much. I don't think the art style's as good personally, and it has some absolute high points. The Clockwork Mansion. The last level before you fight Delilah. I mean, everything with Delilah in is fucking terrible. She's an awful villain, but like, it has some very good moments. The mansion that you're in, where you need to use the timepiece to go back and forward in time. So well done and so cool. So it has some insanely impressive feats, but just get the original instead. The story's better, the art style's better in my opinion, setting's better, the gameplay feels more satisfying. You could do some cooler shit in Dishonored 2 in fairness, but Dishonored's cheaper as well, and it's a gaming artifact at this point. It came out in 2012. Like, it's almost 12 years old now. Like, it's getting on. So I'd recommend that, but that might just be biased. I'll talk about Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal together. I know I haven't played Doom Eternal. I need to. I mean to. I will do it on stream at some point whenever it's voted in by my viewers. Doom 2016, same thing. I mean to play it more. I will do. I don't remember ever loading it up in the past weeks. I might have done it by accident and then closed it down. Seems likely. Yeah, no, it's weird because I loved playing it as well. I don't know why I never went back to it. This is another one of those games that I got for that stream that I was talking about earlier of the low quality free games, so I can't really talk about it. I didn't play it, so I can't really talk about it. It's meant to be fun though, from what I've heard. Also, I love it being called Drunk Wrestlers, but it seems like an MMA game. Elder Scrolls Online, I played it with my girlfriend at the time, but I went through like an opening to a cave and I was stuck on a loading screen for literally about an hour, and I just never went back to it again, because I mean, what the fuck. Skyrim, again, please don't judge me, I haven't played it. A friend of mine finally convinced me to get it not long ago because she spent hours and hours modding it. And eventually I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out at some point. That'll probably be a stream game again once people ask for it. The Escapist, a lot of fun. Very simple game. Go around, check people's desks, gather stuff that you need to form an escape plan, get out of prison. A lot of fun, very charming art style. Um, I think it's great, as you can tell by the 130 hours I've spent on it, on a game that most people probably wouldn't even give a second glance to. Fall Guys, again, I think, I was going to say again, misleading. I can't remember if Fall Guys first came out on Steam, whether it was from somewhere else first. Can't remember. I feel like I've played it for longer than that. I might be wrong. Was a lot of fun. I don't know how many people still play it. I mean, I know Queso plays it on stream, because I see his clips everywhere on TikTok, and they're hilarious. And he always plays this game. So maybe it's still popular. I might have to get my friends on that again soon. I don't know. Fallout 4, another game that I started and never really got anywhere with. Which again is weird because that's right up my alley as far as things I like in gaming. I can't really say much about it. I've heard that it's sort of good but not great, and I've heard that it's great, but I mean, I guess that just means I need to play it more. Then Fallout Shelter, it is just another mobile game that got transported onto PC. It's like a base building thing. Actually, a lot of fun. I'd have it open in the background while I did university work. It was a good little time killer there to stop me from getting bored. I'll talk about all the Five Nights at Freddy's games I have here together. I got all the good ones except for Pizzeria Simulator, which I think is also free, so I'll have to pick that up. I played through Security Breach on stream. Got very annoyed by it, at certain sections because it's still very, very buggy. Haven't played Ruin, should do. But I mean, it's a fun game. I think everyone knows that. Of the 4 games here, I've played all 4 of them. I played FNAF 4 on my phone back in the day. I personally think that Sister Location is the best out of them, because it actually has like a proper story, and the nights that aren't just the same thing over and over. I think it was so well done, and I was amazed at just how good it was when it first came out, honestly, because I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's are known for being good, like sort of reactionary games, but they're not known as being great, like so well designed. I think Sister Location genuinely was. Then I'd say FNAF 1, comfortably. I think it's so much scarier than any of the original 4. I think the AI is best designed as well, because they're all so sort of distinct from each other. Then I'd say 2, then I'd say 4. I think 4's okay. A lot of people say it's the scariest. I lean to kind of agree with it, but that's purely because of designs and how intense the jump scares are. I don't think the gameplay mechanic of leaning against the door as well. That's also a good one, but I don't know. It's all about all a matter of personal preference at the end of the day, really, isn't it? For Honor, never played it because I think I came along after its peak, which is annoying because I saw really good things about it at the beginning. I doubt anyone plays it anymore realistically, which again is kind of sad, so I can't really say anything about it. The Forest, I've started Worlds on the Forest with friends multiple times. I want to say about 5 times. I've only finished the game once. This would have been in 2022 with, again, my friend Ava. I might as well link her Twitch channel in my description as well, just because I've mentioned her so much. A lot of fun. Haven't played Sons of the Forest because of how expensive it is and the fact that she plays with a different group of friends anyway. So it's like I don't really have anyone else to play it with. the story elements at the end of the forest, some of the most disturbing stuff I've ever seen in gaming. It was. I love the ending of that game. It's so. It drags on just long enough where it almost feels boring towards the end, but it isn't. They walk the line so perfectly, and it's just a very fun take on the survival horror, open world, except not really, base building formula. I haven't played FPS chess. Been recommended it by a couple of good friends of mine, but I just never got around to playing it with them, which is a shame because I'm not very good at chess, and this would actually make me pretty good. It's a much better FPS game. My audio might sound a little bit different, forgive me for that, if that is the case, because I've moved some stuff around because I was slouched over very heavily, and I don't want to get forced into bad posture. Garry's Mod would probably be way up there with my favorite games if I got a chance to play it more. It's really annoying. I've played it a bunch of times with friends, and every time they really enjoyed it, but we just never sort of go back to it. It takes ages and ages. It's really frustrating because some of the games you can play in Garry's Mod are so fun. Like Prop Hunt, watching Markiplier's Prop Hunt, Sidemen Prop Hunt, moments in time, man. Generation Zero, game I started on stream, didn't play too much of it, because my friend RJ, he was trying to stream it as well, and it wasn't working for him on stream, so he kind of had to shut it off. And it was like, oh, if that's the case, then there's just not really any point in going back to it. It was fun though, and I believe a good friend of mine does some voice acting in it, which makes me extremely jealous. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, a game that everyone will have seen in some format at some point, designed to intentionally be annoying. Probably a perfect drinking stream game, honestly. Only beaten it once, haven't played it again since. I have no real desire to play it ever since. But if enough people ask for it, then I probably will. Again, could be an ASMR game, who knows. God of War 2018. Only got it on Steam not too long ago, I believe in the winter sale. Yeah, in this winter sale. Because, I mean, it's widely considered to be possibly the best game to ever win Game of the Year. Because, like, it competes with Elden Ring, it competes with The Witcher 3, it competes with Breath of the Wild. Those are the only real, I think, shouts for it. A lot of people say Red Dead Redemption 2 was snubbed, but I mean, they're both so good in their own ways, and I'm gonna play that on stream soon as well. Like, you best fucking believe, because God, I love Kratos so much, and I love the God of War series. One of the very few things I actually did play on PlayStation. Golf with your friends, I mean, self-explanatory really. Barely played it at all, which is annoying because it can be fun, but I mean, I understand why people don't enjoy it, so I mean, I guess money wasted, but you know, I'm not too mad about it. It's one that's always nice to have just kicking around in case. Like, it's a nice little party game, I guess. Goose Goose Duck. Played a few times in streamer lobbies on Yoga Series stream. And with a friend, we went into like public games. I think it's great, honestly. I think it's a great game, but I mean, the social deduction craze has long died down. Like, ever since Among Us sort of stopped updating regularly. And I mean, it captured some of that market, but it'll never be big on that level, which is frustrating because I think it is genuinely probably better done than Among Us, but I mean, it is very complicated, so maybe not. At base level, I think Among Us is probably better, but Goose Goose Duck is so good. GTFO, played it once with a good friend of mine, Lux. You know what, I might as well just link everyone's channels in the description that I've been dropping today. So I'll do Lux's as well and RJ's as well as Ava's. A lot of fun, survival horror, FPS, go room to room, set up traps. Where we had a blast playing it. There's a video on Lux's channel, which I guess I will link separately, of me and him playing it. I recorded it as well, but I never ended up making the video about it, which was probably a miscalculation by me. So, and the recording of that won't exist anymore as well, which sucks. But a lot of fun, and I believe they're due to release a second one, right? Or even a third one. I think it's the second one this year, right? I'd be wrong. Hades, my favorite game of the 2020s so far. The game that I think should have won Game of the Year in 2020. We don't talk about The Last of Us Part 2 because fuck that game. Ghost of Tsushima would have also been an amazing winner. Doom Eternal would have also been an amazing winner. But Hades has a special place in my heart. Probably like in my top 5 favorite games I've ever played at this point. In like the top 3 best games I've ever played. Love Zagreus. Probably gonna do some voiceover stuff as him at some point. Mean to do a Zagreus cosplay at some point. Whenever I start getting into cosplay. Love the characters, love the gameplay, love the replayability, love the story, love the humor. Like, the emotion is there. That makes it sound really bad just saying it's there, but like, as in it's there and it competes, you know, it's on that level as well. In love with this game, so good. Half-Life 2, relic of PC gaming, absolute legendary IP. Haven't played it, picked it up in the winter sale again for like 80p, but need to play it at some point, because it's a fucking legendary title, revolutionized PC gaming forever, alongside the original, of course, which I don't have, but yeah, but like that's required gaming by any PC player to pay homage to the glory days of Valve. And I guess that was a DLC for it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not quite sure. Hand Simulator. It's just sort of Squid Game, fucking Honeycomb game mode, which would be terrifying. It should be a ball ache, I can imagine. Seen so many YouTube videos on Hand Simulator from Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. Looked so good. So angry that none of my friends ever picked it up, because that'd be an amazing game to just laugh and rage at. So I mean to do that someday. Henry Stickmin Collection, played through everything that before completing the mission on mobile. So breaking the bank, escaping the prison, stealing the diamond, infiltrating the airship and fleeing the complex. I didn't play this game too much because I had to play through everything else again in order to multiple times in order to get to the actual completing the mission stuff. Also, I watched it all on Markiplier's channel multiple times, so I kind of knew everything that was going to happen. I wanted to wait a while until I maybe forgot some of it. So that'll be something I do on stream at some point, maybe. But the reactions might not be as good as they would have been otherwise, so that's why I held off. Hitman 2016. I've been interested by 2 and 3 as well, but I just never really got around to it. Like, I never spent enough time on Hitman, the original one, to I guess not original because there were plenty before that as well. But the original of the modern trilogy. Never spent enough time on it really to merit getting the other ones for as much as they were, because, you know, it's a hard game. Like, it really is. So I mean, I just never got very far. I've done a drinking game of it on stream. I would be down to do it again as a part 2. That'll probably be part of the poll in like 3 weeks or so. Maybe even less. So you'll probably see me playing it again sometime soon. And then you got the older ones, Blood Money and Absolution here, and Sniper Challenge, which I won't play. But I could maybe play Blood Money or Absolution. I'm not sure. Hollow Knight, another game that I really mean to play. Always on the Discord polls, hasn't been voted for yet. But that might just be one that I bring to the front and just play it on my own anyway. Or I just play out of my own volition, because I see nothing but good things about this game. It looks stunning. I didn't really get to the proper meat of it, the brief period of time that I played it on my own. So yeah, that's an absolute must at some point for me. So I scrolled down to see how far along I am, and we're just over halfway, so I might have to speed things up a bit. So if I haven't played games, for the most part, I won't talk about them, realistically. I've got Hotline Miami 2, which I do very much mean to play though, because the soundtrack's great, and it does look fun. Just Act Natural, another one of those low quality games from that stream with Ava. But this was definitely the best one of the bunch. It was a lot of fun actually, and I would recommend this one. It is free. Just Cause 3. A good friend of mine is playing it right now actually. It's interesting. I guess that's my cue to jump on it at some point, finally, because I love 2. And I know I will love 3 because it's just stupid explosions and grappling hooks and stuff everywhere, so that's gonna be good. Last Will, a game that I, to the best of my knowledge, still currently have a world record in. A video that I put out in 2021, I think. Or no, it wouldn't have been. It would have been like August 2022. Cool little puzzle game. Unless you get serious about it, like you'll only play it once or twice and then leave it. But it's cool. Lawbreakers, one of the biggest flops of all time. Like, had a lot of potential, but no. This was during the Overwatch craze. They were never gonna go anywhere. Left 4 Dead 2, a classic. I was asked to play it, and then the guy who asked me to play it, the guy who asked me to get it, hasn't played it since. But, you know, probably just a matter of time. Lego Batman. I mean to play them all at some point. I've played 3 on Xbox, and I thought it was pretty good, but I think that was because it was only my second ever Lego game. These ones are meant to be way better, so I look forward to that. I have played through Lego Marvel Superheroes multiple times. It's my favorite Lego game by a mile. I played through it on Xbox, but I played hours and hours and hours and hours on Xbox. Got a 70% completed save file on PC, as well as a new save that I started up for a drinking game, which I got up to, I believe, the Venom level. Might have stopped after that, I think. No, the Raft level with Wolverine and the Hulk and Iron Man. Lethal Company, obviously massive game in recent months. Shows no sign of slowing down. The modding on this game is insane. I recorded a massive gameplay session of it yesterday with friends. Didn't record my microphone, which is so annoying, because I'm so pissed at myself for that. But if you haven't played it, what are you doing? Like, get it at this point, because I don't know how long it'll last, but the hype of this game right now is unlike anything that's been seen since Among Us, really, at its prime. So, but I think it'll stick around. Magicka, played it very briefly, cool little RuneScape-like wizard game where you combine elements together to create cool spells. We just whacked each other with giant meteors, pretty much, and just kept killing each other over and over again. It was fun. I think it's free, so that's cool. Metal Gear Solid 5, a game that I've started a few times, but never really got anywhere with, which is a shame, because Metal Gear Solid is one of my favourite franchises ever. Solid Snake is my favourite gaming character of all time. David Hayter is my favourite, certainly video game voice actor of all time. He was my big inspiration to start doing voiceover stuff, and gonna start doing voice acting stuff hopefully this year. Like sort of semi-professionally. Yeah, that series means a lot to me, and I mean to play more of this game, absolutely. Mind Night, social deduction kind of thing. Very interesting, and now that I've finally watched Death Note, I kind of really want to get back to playing it. It's really like interesting, because it's pure intelligence, that game, and like deception. Like there's no killing or anything like that. It's literally just talk to people and detective work. It's so interesting, and I think it's free. Monopoly Plus is Monopoly at the end of the day. I can't remember having ever played it on PC. If I have, I really don't remember when it was. But it's Monopoly, man. I'm a massive fan of Monopoly, as I hope most people are. Even though I know it's very divisive, which is annoying. Monster Mystery, another one from that that sort of low budget game stream. This one did not work at all properly, to our knowledge. Yeah, it was bad. It was actually bad. Mr. President, a lot of fun. A bit of a weird game at the time and in the modern climate as well, like nowadays. It's fun though. I loved the wrestling mode where you just jumped off of things and speared him as hard as you could. A lot of fun. Muck, an ironic favorite of mine, was just made in a guy's fucking basement, just because he decided to do it. Like, he just got bored and decided to make a game. A lot of fun, honestly. A lot of dumb fun. Not really much replay value for it, but I mean, it's just silly fun. You know, My Singing Monsters from mobile. Another one of those games that I picked up for uni, to like have on in the background so that I can like farm and do stuff in the background while I do work. I hope that explains the number of hours that I have on these, maybe not. New World, a game that I keep going back to every now and then. Honestly, really good for a game that was made by Amazon. Like somehow, genuinely a really good game. I think, and it still has a pretty loyal player base. So I go back to it every now and then, and it's a lot of fun. Could potentially do it on stream, but I don't know how many people will be interested. Let me know. And then, yeah, there's the test build. That's the launcher for Bloons. Paladins, really unfortunate game, honestly. But I think it got released at about the same time as Overwatch. And I think it's really cool. I think it arguably does abilities better than Overwatch does because they're so wacky and cartoony. I think it's really cool, but yeah, no, Overwatch just seized the entire market. So, unfortunate. But it is free though, again. Papers, Please. Very simple game. You're a border control guy. One that I have done on stream before, I believe, and would be interested in doing again because it is a lot of fun. I just don't know how many people are interested in it, really, which is a shame because it's very charming. It can be very funny. Actually, a pretty solid story to it as well. Phasmophobia, as much as I ragged on it before, Phasmophobia at its peak, and when it didn't have any competition, was really good. Like really good. Always a lot of fun, always a favorite. Could play it solo or with friends, and it was like a different experience entirely. If you played it on your own, it was terrifying. If you played it with other people, it was fun. You know, that's a really difficult thing to get right. So it's like you have to respect it for that. Plague Inc., another mobile game. I mean, actually, I don't know what came first, the mobile game or the PC version. But I mean, it's a classic on both at this point. A classic little boredom killer, and I'm always a big fan. Portal 2, very recently, finally finished a playthrough of it, of the single player campaign on stream. Love Wheatley, love GLaDOS, love the design. Got very pissed off, but that's part of the course, really, isn't it, with Portal games? The multiplayer is also very good as well, and it has Cave fucking Johnson in it. Fucking J.K. Simmons is the man. Like, his resume is fucking unbelievable, and yeah, no, I love that game to bits. Happy I finally got to finish it. Power Wash Simulator, just a simple bit of enjoyment, of just a little bit of satisfaction. It's just washing away dirt with a power washer. Something that most of us won't be able to do in real life because they're way too expensive. And I've sunk, as you can see, a load of hours into this. I've been playing it a lot recently. I started a new playthrough, but I kind of stopped it again because I'm up to a point where the things that I need to clean at this point are very, like, sort of finicky. Just very awkward. And I don't have the sort of max upgrade power washer yet, which I really want. Prey, from the same company that made Dishonored. This was kind of their other big release, the other, like, really well acclaimed one. Horror game, mean to play it on stream, saw it a bit back in the day from Jacksepticeye. Would be interested in doing it because it's actually got a very cool concept of alien slime creatures that could become objects. So it's like Prop Hunt, but a horror game and PvE. Project Playtime, which was a way too late Poppy Playtime edition of Dead by Daylight. I don't think people really play it anymore, but again, it's free, so I mean, who knows. PUBG, everyone's heard of this game at some point. I think it's like the third most sold game of all time on all, like, as far as all platforms goes. It was the most played game on Steam for years, for a couple of years at its peak. I haven't played it in years and years and years, but it was a lot of fun at its peak. And at its peak, which I've said a few times now, and I need to learn some new vocabulary. For my money, probably the best Battle Royale experience you could have ever gone. But that's just me. Quantum Break, just got it the other day. No, I was going to say yesterday. It wasn't yesterday, but a couple of days ago. Saw it in, I want to say, 2016 from Jacksepticeye. And love that game to bits. I thought it looked so cool, like the time manipulation stuff, which would be my superpower of choice personally. Makes it a really cool concept for me, so that was a no-brainer in my head. Raft, I'm not as big on it as a lot of people are. I like what it's going for. I mean, it's a open world survival sandbox game, but unless you play it with the right people, it's mostly just kind of okay. I haven't played it in a long time though. If I was to pick it up with the right person again though, I'm sure I'd love it. Red Dead Redemption 2, just started playing it on stream the other day. In love with it. Like, I'm so happy I finally got it. Yeah, I'm in love with this game already. Resident Evil RE-verse. I don't know what this is, actually. I got it alongside Resident Evil Village, which I've wanted to play since it came out. I played it on PlayStation at my previous place that I lived at. um, and I was in love with it. I'm not as big on Lady Dimitrescu as a lot of people are. Hot take. But I mean, that just meant that I could appreciate just the gameplay more, and it's so scary and it's so cool, and the location is so cool. I amazed that it didn't win a Game of the Year in 2021. Like, It Takes Two. What the fuck is that? I'm actually gonna click on this real quick just to see what this is. It looks like a kind of COD Zombies thing. I think that might be what it is. Just everyone's simping but harder. I understand that one. Rounds. Very fun game. I picked it up with my mate RJ the other day for like £2. We've played it a load since then already. 2 hours doesn't look like a long time. But it goes from super serious to fucking side-splittingly funny, depending on what build you get. I could sink hours and hours into this game, I already know. And I've recommended a bunch of people get it already, as I suggest you guys do as well. SCP Containment Breach, the multiplayer version. Legendary IP. I'm not huge on the SCP stuff anymore. Used to be back in the day, when I was like 15. Nowadays I'm not about it as much. It's still fun, but it's buggy as all fuck, so I don't know. It never got a fair shake from me, I don't think. Sea of Thieves, talked about it briefly before. Would play it if I had other people to play it with, but it's eternally expensive. So I mean, who knows really? But like from what I've done, and from what I've seen, it was so ahead of its time. Like, one of the best open worlds I've ever seen. It's nuts. So You're Being Hunted, very, very good survival horror game. Very simple, very sort of minimalistic. Love the basic graphic design, love the character designs, love the concept, very hide and seek. It's a British game, very stereotypical in places, but yeah, I don't mind it. Spellbreak was that battle royale game that was big in like 2022 or 2021, one of the two, that had a bunch of like superpowers in it. That would have been so cool, I think, if like people actually played it. I don't really think people do, which is not. Yeah, see, look, it's sad, but I just wish I had the chance to play it back when it had some hype to it, because it genuinely looked like a lot of fun. Stardew Valley, amazing game, 444 hours, very satisfying. Played it a bunch with my good friend Luce, and it's just a game you can keep going back to over and over again, sink loads of time into. Nowadays I can't play more than like 4 days at a time without feeling intensely tired, but that's that's just because of how relaxing the game is. Like, if you're having a stressful day, load up Stardew Valley, that goes away immediately. I don't want to call it a masterpiece, but I mean, I can't really think of any reason why it wouldn't be. Like, as far as farming games go, it is undoubtedly, clearly the best game ever, as far as that. Stranded Deep. I thought I was recommended it by a friend, by Lux. I was told that it was that had multiplayer, but it kind of doesn't. So that was a bit of a letdown, and I haven't gone back to it since. But for what it is, it looks great, honestly. But it was just a little bit disappointing to not have that. Subnautica and Below Zero, might as well talk about them together. Subnautica, one of my absolute favourite games. Sort of fallen further down my rankings over time. But I mean, that's because of other games being so good, not this being bad. because it's far from that. Very samey. Like, yeah, I mean, the world is almost exactly the same every single time. So I mean, it's difficult to play through it over and over again, but I mean, I found a way to. Again, it's another game that I'll pretty much play every year at some point. So I mean, that says a lot, I think. Below Zero looks really nice. Never been particularly big on that one, honestly. Like, the graphics and like design is by far the best thing about it, in my opinion, and the fact it's Subnautica at its core. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Super Animal Royale, free game, like another battle royale, cute, fun, you know, just jump on. It's not very serious. Top-down view, you can see everyone around you. It's a lot of fun when you play it with friends. On your own, it's kind of, but like, if you've got friends to play it with, then, you know, I'd recommend it personally. Tabletop Simulator, I mean, just a load of board games, really. Like, can't really go wrong if you have friends who enjoy board games, but like you're not near them, you don't get to meet up very often. And this is perfect, honestly. Like, again, like, you can't really go wrong, can you? Team Fortress 2, absolute classic, icon of like of PC gaming, in my opinion. Valve's like jewel in the crown. Like, Portal 2 could be argued to be a better game, but if TF2 got the kind of regular support that Counter-Strike got or that Dota got, I think TF2 would have a solid argument to be the greatest game ever made, honestly. Because it's so much dumb fun. Like, it's so like, the characters for a fucking multiplayer FPS game, you don't see anything like it anymore. Like, Overwatch tried it, arguably had better gameplay mechanics, but like, it could never even come close to replicating the character of the people in this game. Like, even the Pyro, who doesn't talk, even he has just so much personality to him, and like, it's a wondrous feat of achievement is TF2, and yeah, no, it's an incredible game, like, truly. Terraria, the game on Steam that I've spent the most time on with these two combined, over 1,000 hours, the only game, I believe, that I've spent over 1,000 hours on. One of my favorite games, goes without saying from looking at that tally. The modding scene, I'm gonna get a stick for saying this. I mean, I think the game's better than Minecraft anyway. I'm very open about that. I think the modding scene's better than Minecraft. I get so much shit for saying that, because one of the big things that people complain about, like Minecraft fans complain about with Terraria, is, oh, but the modding scene isn't that good. Bullshit. Modding scene, like, Calamity Mod Terraria is, like, can at times be just peak gaming. Like, I could not say enough good things about Terraria. Splinter Cell Blacklist. Been wanting to play the Splinter Cell games for ages. It's stealth games. The Metal Gear ones are not available on Steam. The Splinter Cell ones are. So that'll be one that I come to soon. Even though it almost feels like cheating on Metal Gear at that point. Undertale, spoke about it before. I don't really need to talk about it anymore. One of my favorite games ever made. So charming, so funny, so emotional. Simplicity works so well for it. Like, I can't wait for the next installment of Deltarune again. Uno, I haven't played it on PC yet, but, you know, again, it's another one that is worth having kicking around. Warframe, like New World, is one I come back to every now and then. I'm not huge into it, honestly. I mean, it's good. It is a good game, but there's too much stuff going on in it that I don't really understand, I think, is the main thing. But if I was to get my head around it, I'm sure I'd enjoy it. We Happy Few. This one I feel bad about. Another game that I got gifted by someone that I haven't played. Feel really shit that I never played it. I should have done. I don't talk to that person anymore, which makes it even worse. I should do, like, in honor of them at some point. We Were Here Expeditions, The Friendship. This little couple hour long game that I played with a good friend of mine. Yeah, I mean, it's solid. One person on one side of a room, other person on another side of a room, like of a wall. Communicate with each other, try and get things done in a certain amount of time. Solid principle, well executed. Not a whole lot of gameplay to it, which is annoying. But yeah, I was gifted this one as well by a friend, and haven't played it. But I think it was because I played this one, and I think once you've played one of them, you've kind of played all of them, really. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. The Witcher 3. Again, please don't slate me for this. Barely played it. I will do. It is on my Discord polls for single player series each time. It nearly got voted for a couple of editions ago, but I have not gotten around to it. But I need to, man. Like, it's held up in such high regard. It'd be a crime to not play it. I won't talk too much about this one. I'm a massive WWE fan. Anyone who knows me knows that. I'm a huge wrestling mark. I'll have to see what the next 2K game is like. But in general, I've kind of stopped playing them. But I mean, you know, you go on, you make your own character, you like wrestle against some of your favorite wrestlers. Like, I mean, it doesn't have an online mode anymore because they got rid of it in order to get more people to play 2K23 instead, which is fucking stupid. But yeah, I mean, it's if you play with other people, I'm sure it'd be fun, but I've never actually done that because it's way too expensive. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, another mobile game for PC that I haven't admittedly done on PC yet, but I'm such a massive Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan from my childhood. That would have been my step into anime if I decided to keep watching like when I was younger, but correcting that course now. So yeah, that is my Steam library. If I had to recommend, I'll go through again. I'll give you, let's say, 10 games that I would recommend that everyone who watches this video play at some point. I'll definitely say Arkham Asylum would be one. This Bioshock would be another. Borderlands 2, that's 3. Dishonored, the original, that's 4. I'll say Cuphead for 5. Honestly, at this point in time, I'd say Demonologist on there. Love that game to bits. So scary. Hades for 7, absolutely. It'd feel disingenuous if I gave you games that I haven't played yet, but like properly. If you're into Lego games, I would say Lego Marvel Superheroes, absolutely. I think it's the best one they've ever done, by a comfortable margin as well. It's 8. I'll say Portal 2 for 9. And I'll say Stardew I wasn't going to say that. I'll say Terraria for 10. You know what? Play Stardew Valley as well. Play Subnautica as well. Play Undertale as well. I would say play TF2 as well, but it's kind of mostly dead at this point, which is really sad. I say that it hit its all-time peak player count last year, so maybe not. I need to go back onto it, I guess. And no doubt I'll be saying Red Dead Redemption 2 by the end of that as well, and God of War by the end of that, and Resident Evil Village. You know, there's a lot of good games out there. Video games are great, aren't they? Like, video games are just great. Like, I've got a lot that I need to play through on here at some point. Like, there's hours and hours to sink into it. But you know, I'm a university student. I don't have time. But yeah, that's my library. I hope you guys, I don't know, got some interest out of it, got some enjoyment out of it. And whether I make a new channel for this or whether I put it up on my current channel, I hope you leave a like, I hope you subscribe, and let me know what you see, what you want to see in the future. I'll probably be doing some more soft style narration stuff on this channel, in line with what I do with my regular narration. And I don't know, if you want to see more sort of straightforward, like sounds, ASMR videos, as opposed to just me talking, which could probably get a bit boring, then feel free to let me know. So yeah, hope you guys have a good night.